Are we ready? I know I am. So, whether or not you are, it's time for another episode of the Indie Tales Game Dev live stream. Hey, my name is Adam. You are the Pixel Pals. I've already said the name of the show, so without further ado, it's time to go. Welcome everyone to the Friday edition of the stream. Today is going to be a short stream because we're starting an hour late and ending an hour early. Really sorry about that. But I've been busy. I've been recording a video. It's been a productive day for me. And I've got to go to a little event after this. So, such is life. Can't win them all. I want to kind of show you what I've been working on. Something that I've been doing for this video. It's a bit of a sneak peek maybe at some new content for you on YouTube. But before we get into that, I want to say a big welcome to everybody who is here in chat on Twitch. Welcome, welcome. And those of you who happen to be watching on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. Now, as you know, I've been getting into these screenshot remixes recently. And I have found myself one that I think is kind of topical and one that you might enjoy. Shall we reveal? You want to see the artwork? The last two that I've done, I did one from Stardew Valley, I did one from Metal Slug. This one I'm going a bit more broad appeal. We're going straight for Super Mario All-Stars featuring the cast of Super Mario Galaxy. Fox McCloud, and I've added Yoshi in there as well. What do you think? I like it a lot. I think Fox looks right at home there between Mario and Luigi, kind of stealing the show a little bit. I had a really fun time making this one, and I recorded 2 separate video streams while I did it. I recorded both the just the history state of the canvas, so you get to watch a very stable time lapse, and I recorded myself doing it. So hope you enjoy that. Alrighty. Before we jump too far in, I want to say a big welcome and thank you to most recent follower Oreo Saravegan. Oreo Saravegan? Oreo's a vegan. There you go. And a big took me a while. Hello? Hi. And a big thank you to RAJP for the most recent subscription. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to my wife for delivering me a dumpling. And I'll eat it on stream right now. Very good. I'd love to do Street Fighter, if that's what the rest of that... I can't see the rest of your chat. Yeah, Street Fighter. Yeah, I'd love to. I kind of already have, actually, in the past. You want to see some Street Fighter fan art? Actually, I might be burning through a lot of data right now because I'm on a metered network. This is my Sakura from Street Fighter. This is from maybe like a couple of years ago, 3 or 4. I still like it. I think Sakura's one of my favorite characters. So, thank you, Rhyme. We will go back to... Yeah, Sakura in Street Fighter 4 is so good. She's my favorite. Let's do some grey boxing today. So I'm going to save this and close it. And we'll head on over to the Unity hub and open up the project. I've got some internet outages where I live. Actually, no, the internet is back, so maybe I can switch over. Oh, this might be an issue. We might lose the stream for a bit, but hold tight. Okay, we back? Are we live? Still good, I think, I hope. Let me know if everyone sees me on YouTube. Can you see me on YouTube? If you can, we successfully restarted the stream. Cool, I don't have to destroy my phone battery for the rest of the day. We've had internet outages here at my house, so my phone's been doing a lot of grunt work. Keeping me online. Okay, we're good. Sweet. All right, then I would still like somewhere to plug my phone in, just so that I'm not leaving the house in a little bit at like 40% battery. One sec. All right, we're back. What kind of game am I developing? I'm developing a kind of like a Metroidvania, but a little bit more action adventure than that. More dialogue, more quests. And it's turning out to be a real doozy. So let's do a little bit of a recap on, I guess, what I was trying to do yesterday and where I ended up on this one. So, I have a challenge that I'm facing, which is that I want to be able to take all of my cutscenes in the game. What is this? Hollow test. Why is that looking like that? Okay. Take one of these, chuck them in there. There we go. Saved. Okay. So the thing I'm trying to solve right now in this grey boxing endeavor that I'm on is that I'm trying to make it really, really easy for me to set up scenes in the game featuring all of the cutscenes. At what stage in the development am I? This is like the 70% mark in my mind. Maybe 80%. Like we're kind of like, there's a lot of production that needs to be done, but in terms of time, I expect that to be done in a very short amount of time. And it mostly just comes down to me being able to take everything that's in my head and make the content out of it. So much of the development up until now has been about building the systems and the software and that kind of thing. And, you know, the features of the game, how it works. Now it's like I'm trying to tell a story inside of that framework. And I've already got like a third of that story written and in the game. But now it's like, I want to be able to mass produce a story. Do I ever take time to work on other projects? I have in the past, yep. I released a game called Arrowbound on Android, and I've worked on a couple of different projects as well. Some as contracts for other people, and some of them as like personal projects that I experimented with before leaving where they are. I also like to do game jams, and I would be doing one this weekend if it wasn't for a convention/conference that's coming up locally that I've got to go to. We'd be pulling all-nighters this weekend on Ludum Dare if it wasn't for Alt Games Fest. Okay. So, the thing that I'm trying to do here, do I think about early access? Well, we have a demo, but early access is a little bit difficult. I think it works really well with modular games that can release at a smaller scale and then iteratively get bigger. Whereas this, I can't really release an unfinished story. So early access works if you can get like a full experience early, I think. All right. So what are the advantages that I'm actually looking to get out of this proposal? The proposal that I have right now is like I want to be able to very easily put in a lot of story that's not fully validated. That's the challenge. Which means I need to be able to move it around very easily. And what somebody in chat sort of rightly suggested is, what if we have prefabs as those cutscenes? Which does work, in my opinion. It's not a bad idea. And it would mean a couple things. If I was to make prefabs, I mean, it's a new thing, which means I'd have to like phase all of my existing cutscenes, or at least support both, over to this prefab system. But let me kind of describe how it works in the game right now, because it's a bit awkward. There's unfortunately not a one-size-fits-all solution to this thing that I'm trying to solve, because of the way that NPCs work in the game. So let's maybe go to the production document, the game design doc. Let's go to just a random page. And talk about dialogue. NPC/sequencing. Okay. So here's the challenge slash opportunity slash whatever. The first is that let's just talk about like how dialogue works in the game. So in my game, okay. So the smallest unit of story is an event sequence. An event sequence is any dialogue in the game. And a sequence player gets put on an NPC in a way that lets me stack let's just say 30 event sequences, or usually more like 4 or 5 on an NPC, and then the NPC, when spoken to, will talk through those event sequences. That's currently how the game works. An NPC can be defined as the sequence player plus sequences. So cutscenes sequences can be embellished with timeline tracks, timeline systems to support multiple NPCs and the player character, automating around in between dialogue, as well as camera interaction and interaction with the scene in general. Okay, so we have these two things now. We have NPCs with multiple sequences, and we also have cutscenes with one sequence and multiple NPCs. Okay, so this is currently how I figure this. The challenge that I have is that I have one component called a sequence player, and I have two different kind of like philosophies for how I handle dialogue in the game. And so, or at least like sequences in the game. So one philosophy is I've got an NPC, you can talk to them a bunch of times, and that is just what happens. They can give you a quest, you go and do a bunch of stuff, come back and talk to them again, the quest continues. It's multiple sequences on one NPC. Then I have cutscenes where it's like one sequence with multiple NPCs that lives in a scene at a certain point. And when I'm talking about the main story, most of the time it's this. But sometimes it's this too. You know, there are parts of the main story where you have to talk to somebody a few times. Or go back and visit this NPC to talk to them to kick off the next part of the game. Yo, thanks for the sub. I'll take that. Okay, so if anyone has a sub that they want to resub with to clear out that name, I'd be happy for you to do that. So, what I'm looking for is like a, you know, if I try to create some sort of a flow here where this software is Figma. This is free to use unless you want to use it for work, and then you have to pay like per seat. It's like $10 a month or something. And then this is Unity, but this tool is custom and this tool here is custom too. So I have this create in scene button. That's kind of like what I think I want, is just the ability to write some text. Like the hope is that I write some text, import it into the game, press a button and drop it into a scene, or create a new scene for it. That's the other way to do it. And I suppose the flow of that, let's write it down. So write some dialogue, drop it into the sequence, press a button to either add it into the current scene or build a scene around it. This is pretty reasonable. There's also the idea of like, this would be good for standalone. Because I don't have to worry about the parent NPC that owns the thing. But if it was an NPC, I mean, how would I do that? I guess I don't even need a scene at that point. I just have the sequence, and maybe there'd be like a button to like attach, but even then I could just literally drag them on. So it's not that complicated to do that, as long as I have the NPC in the scene where I want it. Yeah, that's kind of okay. So then this only applies to standalone cutscenes. I suppose the challenge then is that like, well, it's not that bad. Okay. Maybe then what I'm looking for is a button that creates a new scene and puts it in the scene graph. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. There's also a couple of things here. I really can't rely on this importer and this, the editor right now, because for some reason they don't save correctly. They don't serialize correctly. So maybe we can solve that first and then get onto some other things. All right, let's do that. So event sequence editor, that's what we're looking at. And I want GPT's help here. I want ask mode, and I want, how come sometimes when I am working inside of this editor, even if I press the save button, when unfocusing and refocusing the window, the object will revert to a previously serialized state, or one, or be completely empty. I think I know generally what's happening. It's probably not being marked as dirty when I'm working on it, but I want it to find exactly where that's not the case. Nice. It pretty much got it. Oh, thanks, Ryan. Oh, it's really looking through. It's really trying to dig here. I think I must. This is a really old script, and it's super bloated too. It's like 1,000 lines. 700. It's not that big, but it has been bigger. It's probably going to take a while to explain it because there's a few different things going wrong. All right, the short version is the editor is not using Unity serialization safely, so refocus and reload can reconstruct the event sequence from an older or partially initialized state. That's what I was thinking. The editor reinitializes sequence data when the dictionary is null. And again, then, that method clears and recreates the core containers. If Unity ever gives you a temporary null using the deserialized domain reload inspector, this inspector fixes it by wiping the in-memory sequence. Most edits are done by direct field mutation. Some of those call undo record object, many do not. Not consistently marking asset as dirty. Yep, that's also a problem. The inspector mixes serialized property and direct writes, but never calls serialized object or update. This game chops is, let me see if I can remember. This is Wu-Tai, not Wu-Tai. It's Final Fantasy VII Cosmo Canyon. Feat Jimmy on guitar by Game Chops. There you go, Cosmo Canyon. Stop calling is set up from on enable, except for the first time. Okay. Use serialize object.update if required or script at the top of the on inspector and apply modified properties at the end. Edit top level event sequence fields only through serialized property. For story step editing, either move to a plain serialized list or explicitly wrap each real change in change detection. Fix serializable dictionaries so that on after deserialize also rebuilds O keys from M keys or removes O keys entirely if event GUID is already the real ordering source. If you want, I can walk you through exactly which changes the highest value first. Okay. I'll step through and I'll do it myself. Okay. So on enable is not even here. Oh, there it is. Why couldn't I search for that? Oh, I've got capitalization on. Okay, so on enable, I've got if my target GOD is null, stop calling setup. Or an explicit migration path. Is that right? That doesn't seem right. I mean, if it's null, I guess you would set it up, right? Like, why would that be wrong? Maybe this is no good. What about serial as scriptable object window? So when we press the button, it just makes an empty version. So here I've got this problem where there is no constructor for this. That's what setup is. It is a constructor. I guess the hard part here is that I don't know what null is in this context. I don't really have like there's no way for me to say yes, this has been constructed, or no, it has not. So there will be all of these collections will be initialized as null. I don't know if I can do that. Maybe I can. Ah, in that case, it's probably just about doing this, and then I don't need to do any of this. Event characters requirement. Event GUIDs, events by GUID. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe that's it. If I do this, I won't need to have this setup function. That's probably a good start. All right, next, use serialized object and serialized object dot update if required or script at the top of the on inspector GUI. Inspector GUI. I don't think I can cast this way. This is... Oh, it just is. It's fine. That's apply modified properties there, but that's way, way, way too early. Okay. Edit top level event sequence fields only through serialized property. Well, I haven't done that. It's a game on Android called Arrowbound, all one word. Can I have multiple chats going? All right. Anyway, for story step editing, either move to a plain serialized list or explicitly wrap each real change in change detection. I don't know about that one. Timeline, direct assignment. Right. That's a lot of stuff I have to fix. This could take me a while. This might be a while. See you, Ryan. Hey, Saravati. I'm checking the current editor flow. This file is in this file, the safest pattern is read and write editable top-level fields through serialized property. Use undo record object before structural mutations that cannot be expressed cleanly. Mark the asset as dirty after. I think I'm not doing that. Yeah, this is no good. That's literally all it needs to do. What the hell was I doing? What the heck was I doing? I think I know why I did this. It's because I don't like having these there. Yeah, that's better. Sweet. Okay, so I can remove these. And then do I need... It'll probably say you don't need it, but if you want there to be undo history with text, then yes. Oh, okay. I don't need it at all. Sweet. So I could do this. And call it like draw property field or something. But I think it's okay as it is. All right. So what else was broken? Far camera. Where is that? Timeline sets custom camera. I am doing this, but I want to do it that way. So that's good. That's fine. And then what else? Timeline, given flag, far camera, characters, normally edited through serialized property at, but the importer also initializes and mutates it directly at 593. Okay. So what was the issue? Mutates it directly at that and that. The field is declared at that. Pardon me. Well, it should definitely be doing this. For each string. Okay, next. If you also want indirect top-level mutations done through the event sequence methods rather than direct field assignments, then these are also modified outside of serialized property. Event GUIDs mutated through the insert, remove, move up, move down, and clear, which are the editor calls. The field is declared at, and those mutated calls. Everything else at the top level in this inspector goes through serialized property requirement at normal characters, list UI, Good. Okay. Yep. All right, well, let's give that a go. Not massive changes, but they might do enough for me to not worry about what's happening here. And then the other thing I wanted to look at was the save. I mean, it just saves on lost focus, although I don't know if I like that. Be nice to know if there were changes that would need to be fixed. Like the save button, I wonder if it could tell me like, oh. Cool. So now the goal would be, can I just import something, muck around with it, and then hopefully it all works. And some other problems here is that I don't know what's been imported into the game. So I suppose what I could do, I've got this sequence search thing, so I could take some strings from like my story. Let's go to chapter 2, and we'll go to the back half of chapter 2. So like right at the end, for example. And then there's nowhere to run. It's there. Useful. All right. Cool. Should I have some sort of like I don't know. I think I just have to deal. I think like one of the things that I'm struggling with in this whole project is the size of it makes it hard for me to appreciate it in its entirety. And I think that's just something that I have to be okay with. Like that discomfort of like, I can't see it all in one visual screen. I think I just have to accept that. I would love for there to be a big story web of the game that I could just like manage, but I don't know if that would actually be helpful or just more intimidating. I don't know. All right. So like I know what I would want, something that looks kind of like Obsidian, you know, like a node undirected graph or a directed graph of like the story blocked out. Maybe it's possible, but yeah, I don't know. All right, maybe it's chapter 3 then. Let's have a look. Have I got all of this dialogue? Yep, okay. Okay, we don't have this one. I don't have any conversations with Sibylla. Okay. I do have fortune teller. I hate this portrait of Armin though. Get him out of here. Much better. I could probably like chat GPT some of this stuff a little bit and just be like, hey, write me some like tool that lets me figure out all this stuff. Like, write me a visualization tool. I could probably get it to do that. I also feel like maybe there is a case to be made for having a tool that's not dependent on Unity per se. Like the scriptable objects, I guess it's the only problem is that I can't read them. They're not very human readable outside of Unity. So it's sort of like I'm stuck editing things inside the Unity editor. But like if I was making a game without an engine, I would just have this all be JSON. Jason Derulo. All right. So what are we doing here? We're looking for, yeah, chapter 3 related stuff. Okay, so here's what I would do. I need an NPC from chapter 3. So we've got character, NPCs. I don't have one for Sibylla, but it's NPC, it's T NPC data. Okay, and do I have fortune teller? Might be nice for these to be broken out into chapter, although I think they are. This is why I love working in a programming environment, because I can just do this. Can I just do that? I don't want to edit all of these names. No problem. Press this button. I guess done. Nope. Is that really not a thing? $63, okay. It's the file name I need, not name. Probably don't have to do all of that, but three, two, one, go. Yay. A few still with the word dialogue at the end, but that's okay. the file name? Okay. Done. I don't know if that was faster or slower than doing it myself, but it felt better. All right, I shouldn't have done those in one commit. There were two different commits. But anyway, I want to take not Louise. Who do I want? Why do I have them like this? I wonder. The portrait, the NPC. I suppose that's fine. Okay. And then I make a new NPC data. Sibylla. Don't have portraits yet for her, but that's okay. So then I can go into this here. I can grab this. And I can make a new... I mean, I'd love to put the cutscene here, right, with the character. That feels like it makes sense to me. I don't know why I have this folder that's just called sequences. Okay, that all looks good. That actually worked. It didn't break everything. So now I'd want a button that I can just say, create this in the scene. And here it is. There is a null. What happened here? Nothing major. Because it doesn't have a timeline. Okay. I mean, that's not bad. I guess the only thing here that we could possibly want to do is to wrap this inside some sort of prefab, really. That's about it. I think I just need to just be more okay with not having all of the answers. Not having a single button that just does everything. There's so much dialogue and I do want to automate it. But like, what else can I do? Like maybe I could press a button to, maybe I could import like a bunch of text files and just have it go, okay, here are the characters, here's the folders, blah, 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 blah. Just like do all of the things I just did by hand, manually. I mean, automatically. Make the flags, just do everything. But it wasn't that, like I still had to do all the things I just did anyway. All right. Well, I think my goal here, if we're just doing grey boxing for the rest of the game, is just to literally do what I'm doing right now for everything. For all of it. And I suppose I could work backwards from the end if I want. I could do anything. There's no answer here. There's no right or wrong. So what's this thing about? Why did I want to create scenes for this stuff? I don't think I need to do that. Not seriously. It would be nice to have a button I can press that gives me an empty scene with all the bits that I need inside of it. That would be good. Maybe I can put it at the top of the scriptables window or this scene. Maybe there's a window here I could make called like scene creator or something. Anyway, that worked. That was really good. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in a little bit. Alrighty. We're back. Okay, so rest of game. Make it playable. Let's play the game. Hey, Nick Games. How do I undo the thing I just did? Ah, that's right. Well, how do I remove street from this? Not this one. From this, I don't really care about the street. Can I just do that? Great. Okay, so now I need to make this half the size. And then, is there any kind of like reason why it would be beneficial for me to just fill in stuff in the background? Like to just draw something. That looks like something. I guess I could quickly just sketch something up really quickly in like a sprite. Call it Shevers and Keep Landing. I could do that. But maybe for now it's actually just easier to just do a bunch of sprites. I'll just cheat it for now. I just genuinely don't know what's like faster or more useful. It might be faster or more useful to do some scribble with a sprite than to do these squares and try to make them look like things. And it means I start the background already. Maybe I'll just do that. So like literally just do this. It's nighttime and there is a hallway and the hallway comes towards us. And this is Armin. And that's that. And that goes around that way. There's a window here. There's a door here. The original minecart texture. And then there's like a spiral staircase would be like there. That's it. I should make it so that the camera, the default prefab, doesn't have this visible in the prefab. What is exposure canvas? Even that is like way better. Okay, so this is actually a lot more like this. That's too far. Okay, well that's like good enough anyway. For what I need it to do. And then I suppose I could just put some walls up so that the player doesn't run out. And then good. Now the trouble here is that I'll need a door. It's technically that door, but I will need a way for Armin to walk into that door, which means it probably needs to be more like this. I think this is what I need to be doing right now, just like logistics, like put the scene in the game. Just put the content in the bag, you know. Damn it. Save that and then undo to here and then save that as the landing. Cool. Yo, thanks for the follow. Whoever that was. Bike Sandals, thank you. Do I have a snap to collision option on the level scrolling bounds? I want one. What am I looking for here? I'm looking for this box. And it's actually this is a tile map. Just this tile map. Why can't I find this? It's actually a super collider component is what I want. Boom. Good. Three, two, one, boom. Perfect. But is that in world space or these two objects here? They're not mapped to that. I think this is not taking into account this. Yep. It did. It's just off on the y-axis. That's better. Good. Now I can do this and do this. Good. Good. It's better. Whoops. Sweet. Alrighty. I'm just going to make sure I'm going to this event at the right time. I'm pretty sure it's at 6, which means I have to leave at 5, which is an hour from now. From 6. Okay. One sec, pals. Alrighty, we're back. Yo, we got a task that I want to check out. Variations in Figma for sound effects. There has to be a better way for me to do that. There you go, found it. All right. We're looking for chapter 2 feedback, and we're looking at map sound effects. Okay, let's have a listen. I don't know what I think about all these. I think that one's my favorite so far. For the map specifically. Like what happens when you do this? I don't know how I feel about this sound. To me, that's too glassy. And then this is like something I've already got in the game. That I like that. Then there's this, which is more of like a. And there's this, which is. This one. Yeah, I think bottom left for now. This one almost sounds like it's like harkening back to the Zelda Ocarina of Time menu sound, which is. You know the one? Listen to this. Just that opening sound. That could be. This is 39 minutes of sound effects. This. Iconic. Just take those. No. That doesn't sound like what I expect it to sound like. It sounds here like it's ding 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 ding. But I don't remember it sounding like that. I remember it being doodle 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 ding. Doodle 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 ding. I don't know why. It feels. Boom ding 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 ding. That doesn't sound right at all. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I've played it. I wonder if this person pauses at all in their playthrough. Surely. Oh, there. It sounds wrong to me, but it sounds wrong in a way that it sounds like the MP3 isn't, it's like it's not playing properly. It's skipping a little bit. or it's like muddling, like the MIDI sounds are like muddling together because they're too close. But I guess that's just what it's always sounded like. Ding, 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 ding. That sucks. I just don't like it. I like what I've got in my head better. Bum, 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 bum. I don't like it. It should be ding, ba ba da ba da ba da da. That's what I'm thinking of, but it's what even is it? And there's like two layered on top of each other. It's like two voices playing slightly offset. It's not even very nice to listen to. Because there's a woo happening at the same time. That's weird. Item get sound? No, the item. Which one's the item get sound? Ding. Or do you mean like that's item get? Or just da 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 da? None of those is what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of that sound. I just don't. Anyway, I just don't like it very much. We could do something musical. I'd like that. That would be cool. Do I have a keyboard here? I'll play it on my keyboard. I want Patcher. Wait, if I just get replaced with Flex and then go Patcherize and then add in a chord analyzer, then we can go. Is there a harp? No. Let's just go back to piano for a sec. Why am I even doing this? Where does this get me? Where was I? Like that, maybe. Anyway, we have a sound designer. Keep the map transition. Maybe, did you want to keep the map transition? Maybe changing that could inform a new sound effects. That might be too much work for little payoff. Yeah, I think the transition is fine. Like, it's just a fade out between the two spaces. And I can't, what else would you do? For me, I'm okay with that. I don't want to put like a visual effect there or anything. I just don't like how much room there is in that space. So it's more just about like, I mean, I would, if I was sitting here doing it myself, which I'm not, I would just go for some synths and what I really want is something that has this kind of like, not that. You know, something, if it's going to be sci-fi, like make it deeper and wider. You know, like that. Yep. Let's get the release. I don't think I can affect the actual properties of the thing. It's a little bit Stranger Things. What is this that is making sounds? This is FL Studio. Anyway, I'll have to respond to this in a little bit. I think for now, the menu triplets is good enough. Cool. All right. Well, that's not my task right now. So let's put the music back on. Alrighty. So, man, this is looking so much better since the other day. Art review. We could do one. Yeah, if you want to redeem it. Cool. Do you want to let me know where you've put it? Got you. Cool. I've designed cards before. I know how to do this task. So let's talk about it. Tell me what I'm looking at and what you want me to comment on specifically. Two effects, a top and a bottom. So this thing up here is your top effect. This thing down here is your bottom effect. Where is the... Yeah, it's hard for me to know. You can buff any spell with the challenge. We can buff any spell with the bottom components. Hey, Surge. I use it, but not if I know what I'm doing. I usually just do my own, I roll my own stuff. I'll usually use it as a reference or to analyze my code. I don't usually write a lot of code with AI. So the middle card is bounce. Wait, I'm confused. The middle card is bounce? Hand bomb? One radius, one push. Oh, I see. I see. There's the top and then there's the bottom. Yeah. I see. That's really picky, sneaky. I wouldn't have noticed that at all. I see. That's the top effect. That's the bottom effect. Oh boy. Okay. So if I add 2 energy, I play the bottom one? Like it costs me 1 to play hand bomb, and if I add 2 more, I can play bounce as well on top of that. It's not one or the other. It's base plus modifier if I want to spend the extra. Is that right? Wait, you can use your other cards to enhance hand bomb? But with the second card. I'm a little confused. So I play hand bomb, and if I also play cannonball, because I played the 2 extra, that gives me access to bounce? Like if you play a +2 with this card, is that what that's saying? Okay. Sorry about that. I'm confused. Did we just burn 3 cards? I did this and then it disintegrated. And then I did that and that disintegrated. And then I did that and that disintegrated. So burning them is the second column? I am confused. Wait, so burning in this case is using, like consuming the card. I think I'm a bit behind on terminology. So I used, just say yes if I get this right, or no if I get it wrong. I try to use the card, right? It plays, in this case, 4 damage, 3 range, 1 radius. The +3 range is active here, right? So I don't know that it's going to do that and not that. I guess because, well, I don't know what's going to happen. Is it maybe just a visual thing? Okay, so when I play this, the 3 range is grayed out. As I burn it, I guess that's just an effect. And then as I burn this one, I'm doing the other 2 cards' effects. So the subsequent cards that I play, their effects, the bottom effect gets applied in addition to the primary effect of the first card that I burnt. Is that right? You can play as many cards as you want, but for every card after the first, you're playing their secondary effect. Okay, sure. Well, that makes sense. I can understand that. I think, I wonder, like, would it be, do all cards, this is like a major suggestion here, and you don't have to say yes, or you don't even have to take it on board, but do these cards have backs? Is there a back side of the card? Because if you have, like, I'm always thinking about these things from a like principles of design sort of thing. Like, what is the real estate that I have? What can I get out of that real estate? I understand you want to see them all at the same time, so it is difficult. But to me, yeah, the idea that like you have card art, which you're like creeping up here, and then you've got 2 sections, upper and lower. It does kind of feel like a tap thing or like a flip thing. You know, it feels like there's my primary side of the card, and then there's my, on the overside, secondary side. So once you play the first card, all the others flip over. Now, obviously, I know what you want to be able to look at this and strategize. Well, I can do this, and then I can do this and this, you know, for my secondary cards. You know, I get that. You know, you're trying to say 1, 2, 3. So you want to be able to see everything all at once. I suppose there is a question. Hey, Elzak. There is a question. We are reviewing card games. Does it need to work this way? Would be my other thought. In any case, let's just say it has to work this way. What I would do is, let's look at your GIF again. I wish I could, hang on a second. So, that's fine. I think you just need to, with the shader, you need to do something here. But that's okay. Because when I play it, it going bright here kind of confuses me a little. But assuming that's not an issue. Yeah, it's such a shame that it's not something where like you could flip it upside down or something like that. All right, there are things that I would do here. Can I ask what these icons do? 641131. But what is that? How does... So this is what the card does, and then these are additional effects? Like, why are these text and these icons? Right. Okay. Yeah, I think for me, I'm sort of a little bit focused on something separate to this conversation, which is a broader comment about the card identities. So for me, and I felt this way doing the tower dev with Priam and TJ. For me, I feel like, say with like Magic the Gathering, and this could just be my bias, but if I'm looking at a card, maybe Slay the Spire is a little bit different from this. Maybe it's more like Balatro. I don't really know what your game's like, but for me, the picture and the description are kind of like my... If there's lots and lots and lots of cards in your game, giving them like cool identities like this and maximizing the visual side of those identities feels really important. But if they're more like you see the same cards all the time, then I can understand why it's not that important. Like hand bomb and cannonball are like basically the same thing. You know what I mean? Like if it's all just like this one does a little bit more of this and this one does a little bit more of that, you know, then I suppose you don't need like flavor text. But yeah. This goes a bit further into the game, but it's a tactics where you have different tomes with different decks. Yeah, I agree. I think you're moving in the right direction. Yeah, I mean, look, if your game is very like fundamental, like if the idea of pushing and pulling and damage is just like, that's just how the game works. There's just like a lot of bounce, range, push, pull. If that's just like the terms of the game, then it is what it is. I guess, yeah, I think the decision that you've made, like the direction you're moving in, is fine. What about this? What's the difference between these hex, these 6 things versus these 6 things? Unit target projectile versus ground target lob. So pumpkin you play on the ground, purple you play on a target. Lobs have a dead zone in the middle. I see. So if I target, is it like this? If I target, if I'm here and I target you with cannonball, it bounces to the next space in that direction. Is that right? After it explodes here. Yes, Elzak, let's chat. I'm keen. I've been doing some stuff on Scene Graph. Cool, I got it right. Okay. All right. Well, in that case, I think you're okay. I think it's fine. I don't know how else you do it. There really does feel, it feels like maybe there's some option here. I don't know if you're looking for these kinds of like suggestions, but maybe you could do it. You know the way that like in card games, you've got like the king with the whiskers or whatever, and he's standing here. And then you have like the reverse side of him. It almost feels like this is primary and this is secondary. But I wonder like if these were your icons and the icons didn't need, like they don't have to turn upside down. Do you know what I mean? I suppose you're already here, but I wonder, like, you know, you could do something where like the card art was in the center of the card. You have effect, 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 and it's still all written like right way up. or they're just iconographic so you don't have to flip them, or like they always just get rendered upright no matter what happens. If there's circles, you could rotate the card you know, at the point when you've played your primary effect. And you would know which way primary is based on the nameplate. So you'd have like the name of the card, cost, whatever. I mean, that's kind of what you've got already. I guess I'm just trying to encourage you to think about like you know, it's like in design, if you have something that's like a shape, I'm trying to think about like, oh, well, you've got this thing here, this thing here, this thing here, this thing here. So like make it a square. Like there's a stronger identity if you push the direction you're already heading in. Keep pushing in the orthogonal, you know, directions, so that your game, what makes your game unique is louder. Can we get away with icons that might not be common for special bespoke effects? As in, the player is excited to see the definition of a new icon. Maybe. I think like, look, if your game only has like 10 unique key terms in it, then they'll just learn them. You know what I mean? Like I learned these just now. Like I'm seeing so much bounce, push, radius, range. They don't seem that complex. And you could always hover over the tool over the, you know, you could always get this and have the icon next to the thing as well. You know, you see this sword. What does that sword do? I look over here, I see the sword. It says 1 damage. I find it funny, like, just as like an aside, these kinds of games really confuse me in that there's so much information in the tooltips. Why even bother presenting this as a playing card? You know, like the constraints of it being on a card almost seems like not relevant anymore, given that all the information that would be on the card is now on a flyout next to the card. Like if you're going to do that, why not just like make this anything? But I know it's convention. It's not like you didn't invent that. That's just what it is. I just find it funny because like, yeah, as a constraint, it's yeah. It's just an awkward, like I suppose like it could have been anything. It looks cooler in a card. Right, but it's like, it's not a... I suppose in this case, your tooltips only serve as references for the terms, which I suppose is fine. Otherwise, it'll look like Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! Right, but like those are fairly accepted. Anyway, I'm just musing here. I know I'm not very helpful. I think, yeah, overall, like, I understand why you've got this darker shade. Because you're trying to say that right now, bounce is not applicable. So it's hard to read, but it's not impossible to read. I get that. I think, yeah, this thing maybe could save you from having to do the color shifting so hard, because you'd have like a top and bottom. I mean, you've already got top and bottom, but to know which phase you're in is an important one. So yeah, I think what for me was a little bit complicated was, well, there's a little bit of, yeah. Like, I wonder if like this +2, you know, if it was playing cards you would put this +2 bottom right so that when you swiveled it, it would be in the top left where this one is. But you can't really do that in this context because they're overlapping each other. I mean, look, maybe that's it. Maybe you've already got it, you know, in the best position it can be. It looks reasonable. It doesn't look like crazy. Personally, I'm still a sucker for for me, just as like a player or like as an artist, it really bothers me that there's like so much space dedicated to stuff that's not the card art. But I know that that's not, like, once you're playing the game, you're probably not focusing on the art that much because there's a whole game in front of the art up here. So I get it. Maybe it's not. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm fixating on just the cards. Yeah, it's not really a game, like it's not a genre that I'm very familiar with, I'll be honest. Like I've never played Slay the Spire or Inscription or any of those, so I might be just like totally just the worst person to ask about this stuff. And my sensibilities are just different from, I think, a lot of people who are familiar with the genre and enjoy the conventions as they are because they've played so many of those games. So I wish I could be more helpful. Sorry. Alrighty. I think that's got to be us for the stream. Yo, Elzac. One thing that, if you're interested, what the heck is this? Oh, that's a different thing. If you're interested, one thing that I have, what I've decided that I want, a feature request for Scene Graph, is transferring a node between graphs. He might not be here anymore. Anyway. Okay. Thank you, pals, for checking out the stream today. I have to. It is an obligation that I mentioned that we have a fourth wall site right now for merch. Merch exists. And we're live right now. I'm really happy with this run of merch. It's my first run, and I think we put a lot of time into getting the designs right, getting the sizing right, and the quality of the materials, and I feel good about it. So if you are interested in picking up some Insignia merch, this is your chance to do so. Alrighty. Also, I have to mention it as well. We're on Steam. You can wishlist right now if you haven't done so. That's free to do. So if you want to get your hands on Insignia, you can play test the demo right now. You can also wishlist to let me know that you're interested and let publishers and other people know as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is the end of the stream. I'll catch you next Monday, next week. This Monday coming up, not a week from now. Thanks, everyone. That's it. YouTube video coming soon. Sneak peek if you want to see. Check it. I put Star Fox, Fox McCloud, and Yoshi in the Mario All-Stars title screen as a little bit of a screenshot remix coming up on YouTube soon. And yeah, that's it. See ya. As always. Oh, let's find someone to raid first. Coppinger. Sweet. Thank you, everybody. As always, I've been Adam, you've been the Pixel Pals. This has been the Indie Tales Game Dev live stream. Until next time.